Hey guys, it's Caitlin, your favorite Michigan girl and wannabe Jedi. It's Thursday, which means it's time for my Star Wars vlog and a Rebels recap. First off, I hope you all had a wonderful and blessed Easter for those of you who celebrate the holiday. My Easter was amazing. I went to church with my family, and my mom surprised me. Every year, my mom, still to this day, gives my brother and I Easter baskets, usually full of candy and little treats. Well, this year, we had Easter buckets filled with candy, and we each got a special treat. We each got a poster. My brother got a really cool music-themed poster. I got this thing! I got my Force Awakens poster. I'm so freaking happy. I would love to own a poster from every single Star Wars movie, but I can't find a poster for the first three, for the prequels, anywhere, and it's getting very hard to find any cool poster related to the original three. So, I'm just so flippin' happy I got Force Awakens. Yay! That was my Easter present for my mom. It was wonderful. So I had a great Easter. I hope you all had a wonderful, blessed Easter too if you celebrated it. If not, happy spring. Anyway, last night was the night. It was the season 2 finale of Star Wars Rebels. OMG, there are only 2 words I can use to describe this episode, and I will probably use them over and over again in this vlog. Last night's episode, 2 words, emotional overload. I got through the first part of the show fine, but that last 10-15 minutes, oh my gosh, I thought my heart was going to be ripped out of my chest and stomped on. I don't know what happened. Oh my gosh, it was an amazing episode. I was mad, I was sad, I don't know what I was feeling by the end of it. I was so drained and emotionally, I don't know where my head was at. I admit it, I will admit it. I cried. I mean, I cried during Shroud of Darkness, but I didn't really cry that hard. I teared up and I went, oh, and I cried a little, but oh my gosh. The last like 10 however minutes of Twilight of the Apprentice last night, I was literally almost bawling. I couldn't stop, and oh my gosh. This is the one episode I am not going to spoil anything for, like the big moments. I'm just going to talk about a few things I noticed here and there. If you haven't watched it yet, oh my gosh, what are you waiting for? You have to watch it. This is the episode that kind of changes the Rebels universe as we know it. I mean, a lot of articles are saying Rebels has changed the Star Wars universe for the good, but this episode is changing Rebels itself. It was everything I could ask for in a season finale for Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars, I talked about Clone Wars and how I thought Clone Wars was incredibly dark and it was a kid's show. I thought that because Disney and Star Wars Rebels would kind of avoid that darkness, that dark factor. I mean, first season, there were a few dark moments, not a ton. Like, the only 2 really dark moments I can think of is when Ezra touches the dark side and summons that fear knock, and then the battle with the and then like the final 2 episodes where Kanan's a prisoner of Tarkin and he's getting tortured and stuff. Those are like the darkest moments I can remember from season 1. And then season 2 comes along and, okay, we get some darker moments. We've got the Inquisitors. It's still not that dark. And then, oh my gosh, Shroud of Darkness, a little dark. And then last night's episode, Twilight of the Princess. Oh, wow, that was a very dark episode. And that is a dark episode for a Disney show. But it was so good. It was so worth it. And even though I cried and it broke my heart, it broke whatever feeling I had left, it sadly, much like the last 3 episodes of season 5, the To Catch a Jedi and The Wrong Jedi and those episodes, this will definitely be one of my all-time favorite Rebels episodes ever. And I don't know why, but it will. It was just a well-written episode, well-directed. The characters were amazing. The storyline, I'm sorry. Like I said, it was an emotional overload. I'm still kind of drained. I woke up this morning and I was just so down still from what happened that it was kind of, but I'm starting to function again. I'm getting back up there, so like I said, it was an emotionally charged, overload, mentally draining episode, perfect for a season finale, and it's just, it left us with so many questions, both about what's going to happen in the future and about the characters featured. So I just can't wait. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil any of the major plot points for you. You already know probably what's happened if you've seen the episode or if you've read articles and stuff. So I'm not going to spoil it. Granted, if I told you I bawled like a baby, and you can probably guess why, since one of my favorite characters was involved. But it was definitely... Congratulations, Star Wars Rebels. You have pretty much... I don't know what to expect anymore now. So, thank you for the episode. It was wonderful. But, on that note, let's talk about a few things I noticed. Like I said, it was a dark episode, and this was like one of the few episodes where we didn't have the entire Ghost crew. Last week in Rebels Recon, Dave Filoni said, Mystery of Chopper Base, when you saw all the characters and their reactions to Kanan and Ezra leaving with Ahsoka to go to Malachor, he said that was a way for Hera and Zeb and Sabine to say goodbye for this season, because their story arcs were done. The final episode was just going to be about the Jedi Rebels. So we don't really see them. We do see one person though. It was one of my favorite moments, and it happens right at the start of the episode, so I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything for you. It's Rex, and he calls Ahsoka when I don't know if he called Ahsoka or Ahsoka called him, but Kanan, and Ezra are in hyperspace on their way to Malachor. And it's Rex. And one of the I'm always big on the bonds between characters, on their development and stuff, and one of the things I loved about Clone Wars is like I said, the different bonds. And Rex and Ahsoka, even though their relationship really wasn't ever a focal point in like any of the episodes on Clone Wars, you can definitely tell in Rebels it was very clear from the get-go that she and Rex were close. They were best friends. He was probably one of the people she was closest to during the war. And so just seeing him and hearing him talk to her while they're on this way to this planet and not knowing if any of them are ever going to come back, it's clear that he is worried. He's a soldier. He's trying to hide it, but he is worried. He even says it. He's like, if you need me, I can be there in 2 rotations. Just call me. And he even tries to say, well, I could have ordered you to stay or take me with you. And it just brings up this really sweet moment because Ahsoka tells Rex, well, you don't exactly outrank me anymore. And if you're a Clone Wars fan, Rex's following response is that in his book, experience outweighs everything, should have brought back memories of the Clone Wars movie. That's where Rex and Ahsoka meet for the first time. And one of their first conversation, just the two of them, is Ahsoka actually asks Rex if she outranks him because she's a Jedi, and his response is, in his book, experience outranks everything, and she kind of boldly replies, well, in that case, she better start getting some. And it just brought back that memory of their first meeting on Christophsis, and when she was really just this she was really just a young Padawan. She really hadn't been in like any battle before, or really done anything like this ever, and now all of a sudden, here you go, your new master's Anakin Skywalker. He's a general. He's pretty much on the front lines. Good luck. And it was just kind of incredible. So to hear Rex and Ahsoka kind of have a rehash of that first conversation between them about how experience outranks everything, and then Ahsoka tells him, well, I definitely outrank you now because she has a ton of experience. And just to see that is just a reminder of where the two of them were when they first started. He was a clone trooper in the Grand Army of the Republic, and she was a Padawan, and now she's no longer, I call her a Grey Jedi now. Somebody in a video I found on YouTube calls her that, and so I consider that she's a Grey Jedi. And he's now no longer he's a retired clone trooper, but now he's working for the rebellion, and she's working for the rebellion. So in a way, they've kind of come full circle to where they were in the beginning, and he kind of watched her grow up, for lack of a better term. So it's just a touching moment between the two of them, and I nearly burst into tears. I did tear up a little, because when he signs off, he actually says, "May the Force be with you," and I'm like, oh my gosh. So it was just a very sweet moment between Rex and Ahsoka. I really wish we could learn more about their bond during Clone Wars. There's not a lot. If you're interested, go check out fan fiction. A lot of fans have written stories about Rex and Ahsoka. all I can say is obviously the two of them were best friends, and I'm guessing maybe next to Master Plo Koon and Anakin and Obi-Wan, Rex was probably one of the closest friends she had that she served with in the war. I don't count Paris for good reason, but yeah, that was a really touching moment. I think that moment with Rex and Ahsoka, for me, was what set the tone of the episode. You know, it very much felt like Rex was saying goodbye. So it was a really sweet moment. But to make sure it didn't stay too dark, they had to take a droid along with them. So take a wild guess, Chopper went with them. So we did have a few funny Chopper-esque moments. Not too many, which is good because this was a serious episode. This was the serious episode. This was the episode. So Chopper did come along. It was nice to have a few moments with him to break up the tension. But it was serious. And like I said, what thing with Rex and Ahsoka, that kind of set the whole tone for me for the episode. I knew this was not going to be a typical Rebels episode. This was going to be the episode that changed everything. So it did. But one of the reasons Rex is so worried is actually Malachor. Now, Malachor, for those of you who played KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, they knew what it was. But as one of the Scottish Jedi who I subscribe to on YouTube, if you want, and really quickly, I have to plug his channel. He does amazing reaction videos to the Rebels episodes with, I think it's his brother, Jeff Irishfiend or something. So search Scottish Jedi. His videos are awesome. Sometimes their dog makes an appearance. Also, he has a few videos up of his reaction to Clone Wars episodes, as well as 2 videos of him dueling with lightsabers. Good lightsabers, not like mine. I have the cheap plastic one. His are cooler. Next week, my lightsaber might make an appearance. I don't know. So go check out Scottish Jedi really quickly. Malachor was taken out of canon a little bit. So was actually taken out of canon. Like Disney came in and went, bye! So... But in this instance, they did kind of bring Malachor back into canon, but it's a different version of Malachor than what fans remember. When, according to Ahsoka and Kanan, Malachor was this planet that is off limits to Jedi, and they were told old legends about it when they were younglings at the temple. So I guess it was kind of their version of the boogeyman. Don't look under your bed. Don't go to Malachor. The big bad guy will eat you. But since it was forbidden, it's like, okay, why did Yoda send them there in the first place? Well, knowledge. That's what Ahsoka says. We need to go get knowledge. What better place to get knowledge than a planet banned to Jedi? For a good reason, because there's a Sith temple on it. And at one point, it looks like a bunch of Jedi decide to attack the Sith temple, and it doesn't look like the battle ended well. Now, a lot of people... Okay. Oh yeah, lightsabers. A lot of people were talking about in the mid-season trailer. We did have that image of Ezra holding a cross-guard lightsaber, like Kylo Ren's, only in green. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, Ezra's new lightsaber!" No, it has been sold once and for all. Dave Filoni said this in the interview. The cross-guard lightsaber that Ezra picks up on Malachor is not his new lightsaber. It's just lying there because there's a battle, so there's a bunch of lightsabers laying around on the ground. It is not Ezra's new lightsaber. Sorry, guys. It's actually just a lightsaber Ezra picks up and turns on, and it was just inserted into Rebels as a nod to Force Awakens. So, sorry. Those of you who are hoping that Ezra's new lightsaber will be a crossguard like Kylo Ren's, hate to burst your bubble. We don't know what his new lightsaber is going to look like. But that was kind of a cool nod to Force Awakens. We also finally get to meet the third Inquisitor. Yes, there's a third Inquisitor. I wasn't so sure, but there is. He's a Tarangaran. Dave Filoni talked about him. I read an interview with Dave Filoni before doing this. And Filoni says he's a Trigorian. He's a tree jumper, like the woman who took Ahsoka's lightsaber in, I think it's season 2 or season 3 of Clone Wars. But he's like that. And he reveals when he is confronted, he's like, "Oh, you guys are Jedi. I wasn't expecting you here." Because it turns out this Inquisitor was not a Malachor. waiting for Ahsoka, Kanan, and Ezra. He was actually on Malachor hunting, as he terms it, a shadow. Also, this is the first time where we see a new use for the unique spinning double-bladed lightsabers that the Inquisitors carry. Again, in my head, I'm going, okay, Jedi use their lightsabers as flashlights. What do the Inquisitors use their double-bladed lightsabers for? Turns out, because the double-bladed lightsabers can spin, they can use them for helicopters. Yeah. Ding. And this third Inquisitor, his lightsaber has another feature. His lightsaber has spikes in it. So, yay! Their lightsabers just keep getting nastier and nastier and nastier. And I'm drawing the line. Yeah. So he's there looking for a ghost. And who is the ghost? The ghost. I don't know how this character is still alive. Everybody, mid-season trailer, you saw him. We all freaked out. The ghost this Inquisitor is looking for is none other than the guy who apparently cannot die. It's Maul. Oh my gosh. The creepiest character ever. The one character that gives me the heebie-jeebies and the nightmares. Darth Maul. Oh my gosh. Only no longer Darth, just going by Maul. And when he introduces himself to Ezra, he says, "Call me old master." Ooh. Freaky deaky. Okay. But it's Maul. Okay. First question. Biggest question in my mind is, how the heck is Maul still alive? Okay, that's what I want to know. And he's been like sliced in half and like tossed down his shaft, and then had the tar beat out of, and that was in Phantom Menace. And then he appears again in Clone Wars, and he's apparently totally fine, but cuckoo bananas. And then his mind gets fixed, and now he's like totally obsessed on getting revenge on Obi-Wan and the Jedi. And then he almost does it, but he doesn't. Yay, because Obi-Wan is awesome. But then Darth Palpa Creep shows up and literally beats the snot out of Maul, and then you never see him again except in the comic book series about him. I think it's called The Last Son of Dathomir or something. I don't know. Still, how the heck is this guy alive? Seriously, does he have like 9 lives like a cat or something? Can he just like die and stay dead? So, seriously, I want to know, how the heck is Maul still alive? Anyway, he's alive. They haven't really done too much in terms of character design for him. Well, as Darth Maul, you really can't do anything too much with him. Kind of looks the same like he did in Clone Wars. His legs are different. Obviously, he's had to make some adjustments over the years. Creepiest pair is still the spider legs. Oh my gosh, but this time, he's not just seeking revenge against the Jedi. No, now Maul pretty much hates the entire world. He's not just seeking revenge against the Jedi, he's seeking revenge against the Sith. He pretty much wants to destroy the galaxy and recreate it, and he decides, oh, look, here's this young youth. Hey, you can be my apprentice. I'm like, no, Ezra, don't go with the creepy guy, no. And it's Ezra. Ezra really seriously has to learn to, 1, not touch strange objects, and 2, don't trust random people that you can sense are bad, okay? You have the Force, you should be able to sense. Oh, never mind. Anyway, Ezra, please stop touching random objects, and please stop trusting random people who obviously are not good. But, yeah. Another interesting note is when Maul sees Ahsoka, they recognize each other. And he actually calls her Lady Tano. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, during Clone Wars, Ahsoka and Maul never met at all. In fact, it was only like the only Jedi who ever... I don't even think Anakin came up against Maul. I know Anakin went with Obi-Wan against Savage Opress, but I don't think Anakin ever went up against Maul himself during Clone Wars. But, how the heck then... So, obviously, if Anakin never went up against Maul, I'm guessing Ahsoka never met him during Clone Wars. And maybe Anakin or Obi-Wan told her about Maul. I'm guessing 10 to 1, it's a good possibility they might have. I mean, she was Anakin's Padawan. She did go a lot of places with them. But maybe not, because that really was a kind of a dark time for both of them. And especially Obi-Wan. I mean, you really don't want to rehash about the time your master died. So, I'm not sure if she ever knew who Maul was when she was Anakin's Padawan or what, but she recognized him and he recognized her and even called her Lady Tano, which is kind of interesting. One, because in some of the stories and stuff I read, for a female Sith, they are called Lady. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, that kind of Lady Tano, that makes it sound like she at some point herself touched the dark side and was a Sith, but that wouldn't make any sense. This is Ahsoka, not Asajj Ventress. So I don't know why he calls her Lady Tano. It kind of throws me for a loop, as does the fact they recognized each other. So there's some questions there, right there, regarding Maul and Ahsoka's relationship. Did they at some point run into each other after Ahsoka left the temple and after Maul was, beaten up by Palpa Creep? And and calling her Lady Tano, is that just something Maul called her as like a courtesy, or is it because of something darker that we don't know about yet? So that was really interesting to me, that Maul and Ahsoka, like, oh look, holy crap. So sorry. So obviously that threw me for a loop, Maul and Ahsoka recognizing each other, because like I said, they never came up against each other in Clone Wars. But see, that's an interesting point of fact for me, is that Ahsoka fought Ventress and Grievous, and the one person she never fought is she never fought Dooku. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting, but she was good. So very interesting there that apparently Ahsoka and Maul know each other. And it's getting dark outside. We're supposed to get some storms, so I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. I'm sorry, I'm trying, but it's getting really stormy out, so I will try to move faster. Obviously, though, it was really cool. There was a lot of lightsaber battles. They were awesome, amazing. I am not an action person, but I love lightsaber battles. But that's because I'm kind of an old-fashioned person. I like the idea. I like fencing, and I kind of equate lightsaber with the sword, with the because it's kind of like a more active version of fencing. And I also think that the different combat styles are like dances, so if I ever did try to take it up, maybe I would be kind of good, because I like dancing and I kind of pick up different styles pretty quick, so I might be good at that. But so lots of lightsaber battles, which were nice. Good, like, oh my god, they were intense lightsaber battles too. It was very interesting seeing that Maul still has his skills. But of course we were all waiting for the big battle between Ahsoka and Vader, and before we get there, quick note, Ezra himself does a short lightsaber battle with Vader. Not Ezra's brightest moment, but the reason Ezra does this is a little bit of a spoiler. The Sith Temple itself is a weapon. And the Sith Holocron unlocks that, and that's what Vader wants, is he wants this weapon that can destroy life in the entire galaxy. FYI, if you watch Clone Wars and you watch the season finale, the voice of the temple should sound really familiar. When I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You're going to have to watch the season finale and check it out for yourself. But like I said, Ezra tries going up against Vader, and this isn't the first time Ezra has faced Vader. Siege on Lothal, Kanan and Ezra both went up against Vader. Did not end so well. They weren't injured. So this time Kanan's not there, because Kanan sadly was badly injured. This is where Kanan's, before, I'm jumping back and forth a lot, but Kanan's injury is actually where I lost it for this episode. The minute he got hurt, that's when I completely lost it for this episode. That's when I started to cry and go, oh my god, what the hell is happening? Oh my god, I'm starting to cry now. Because, I don't know why they chose to injure Kanan, and I'm going to spoil it a little bit. Kanan is blind. Kanan gets blinded by Maul. And the reason they chose to blind him is because George Lucas was heavily inspired by the samurai films, and there's one film where the hero is like a blind swordsman. So, Kanan was made blinded by Maul, and oh my god, I don't want to cry. But yeah, so that's why Kanan is not with Ezra when Ezra goes to unlock the temple. So that is why Ezra ends up fighting Vader on his own for a little bit, and Vader actually destroys Ezra's lightsaber. And then Ahsoka comes to the rescue, and that starts the duel with Vader, which I don't want to talk about at all. No. I don't want to talk about the duel at all. No. I don't want to talk about it. I'm starting to feel drained again. I don't want to. No. I'm not talking about Ahsoka and Vader's duel. No. I'm not. I refuse. I'm not going to talk about that duel. No. I'm refusing. I'm refusing it. Needless to say, if you watched it last night, I know. I'm not talking about it at all. I will say that Maul does survive, but no. I'm not going to talk about Ahsoka's duel. No, I'm not. I will start crying again if I do. But yeah, as you can tell, it was a very emotionally overloaded episode. So, it was just intense. I don't know. I really don't want to talk about. Like I said, I keep saying I don't want to talk about Ahsoka and Vader's duel because I don't want to ruin anything if you haven't seen it yet. But you can probably guess by just my reaction, my refusal to even talk about it, and I don't know what to think. I don't. That's one of the most amazing, incredible things about Star Wars is the characters are so relatable. You would think they wouldn't, because so many of them have these really awesome and powerful abilities, and they're so much more than ordinary. They're incredible. And yet, at the same time, they're so totally relatable because they still have the same insecurities and even the same dreams. So, that, and you just grow to love them. Like I said in one video, I like Ahsoka so much because she reminds me of some of the things she does, the way she acts and says. It's kind of a little like me. And I could see her being my friend. If I hung out with her, if she was real, I could see us being friends because we would just be, I don't know, I just think she would be a good friend. And so that's the wonderful thing about Star Wars, is they create these incredible characters that are so easy to relate to, and then they do these horrible things. Not horrible, but needed to move the story along, but still, it's just, I don't want to talk about it. I can't talk about it. Because I will break into tears again. I can't talk about it. Not Ahsoka. Not her duel. I don't want to think about how it ends. And the thing is I'm not even sure if it ended the way I thought it ended. Because apparently I missed something because I was crying so hard last night at the end. So I read some stuff online that is giving me hope, and I will choose to believe what they say. But I'm not talking about the duel anymore. I'm not. But for Ahsoka fans like me, I'm done talking about the episode. I said I don't want to talk about it too much. I might talk about it more next Thursday, which I will try to get a video up next Thursday. I am starting a new job on Saturday. It's not a job I want, but I'm starting a new job on Saturday, which means I'm going to try to put up the video next Thursday, so I will try. But I will probably talk about Follow the Apprentice more next week. But I'm not going to talk about it now. I need time to decompress, and I haven't even watched the episode again. Since the on-demand in my cable box does not work, I'd have to use my mom's, but my mom was home, and I didn't want her to have to deal with me bawling like a baby again. So I had recorded the sound off of the video on my TV, and that's what I watched today to get the notes for the show. And I almost cried again. So I will talk about it next week. I need to rewatch it again, but I don't know why I'm punishing myself. So I'm done talking about Twilight the Apprentice. I'm done talking about it. I will link to Rebels Recon below, and I will also link to a video StarWars.com did in honor of the second season finale. It's the 10 best Star Wars Rebels moments so far, so I will link to that. I'm being good. But for an Ahsoka fan like me, who feels traumatized. There is good news. It was announced today that for those of us like me who have been asking and begging and pleading for them to tell us what happened to Ahsoka after she leaves the Order and before she appears as Fulcrum in Rebels, there is good news. Dave Filoni has said that for Rex and Ahsoka, both, he has actually written detailed stories and plots about their lives between Clone Wars and Rebels. And only he has this story. Well, maybe not anymore. On October 11th, 2016, so this year on October 11th, Disney Lucasfilm Press is publishing a young adult novel all about Ahsoka's adventures after leaving the Jedi Order during Clone Wars and before she joins the Rebellion as Fulcrum. So that will be good. Oh my gosh, I did forget one thing. One thing I forgot to mention about the duel of Vader and Ahsoka, and I actually wrote this down, so jumping back into the episode, I know I said I was done about it, but we're not. Vader actually tells Ahsoka that their battle was foreseen. I got quiet there because the battle was foreseen, and I'm thinking, okay, the only prophecy in Star Wars I know about is the Chosen One prophecy, and they never actually talk about it at all. I have a copy of the Jedi Path, which is really cool. My brother has Book of the Sith. Yeah, so I have a copy of the Jedi Path, and the Chosen One prophecy is supposed to be in there, but it's completely blacked out, so you can only make out like certain words and stuff. So one word of note, I actually went back and was looking through it one night, and I noticed one of the words that I could see through the black was the word Fulcrum, which is Ahsoka's codename for the rebellion. I told my brother this, and my brother's like, well, it could just be a coincidence, and I'm thinking maybe, but this is Star Wars, and there's kind of not really a lot of coincidences, so, but yeah, apparently Ahsoka and Vader's battle was foreseen, so I would really love to know what exactly the Chosen One prophecy says, but, yeah, okay, now I'm done with the episode, and like I said, for an Ahsoka fan like me, I am now counting down the months until October for the new Ahsoka novel. I am also going to be counting down until Star Wars Rebels Season 3 comes out. I do have some notes. I read an interview with Dave Filoni, and he did drop some hints about Season 3, which I am going to drop to you guys right now. So, mind blown. Maul, like I said, survived. He survived Malachor. And guess what? Season 3, the big bad villain is not going to be Vader or the Inquisitors. It's going to be Maul. That's right. The big bad villain that the rebellion will be up against is going to be the creepy Maul. Yay! I'm going to have a lot of nightmares next season. Thank you, Star Wars Rebels. But Maul will be the big bad villain next season. Also, we're going to see Kanan and Ezra dealing with the aftermath of Malachor. For one thing, Kanan now has a physical disability. He's blind. But that shouldn't affect him too much. He was blinded, and he was still able to do a lightsaber battle, and he did it amazingly well. So it shouldn't really affect his ability too much. He might have to adjust, but he might also have to be dealing with Ezra, because Ezra did give in to his emotions. He tried. He kept saying he couldn't give in to his emotions because Jedi are never supposed to act out of their emotions. But he did, so he might also be dealing with a little bit of darkness, so Kay and Ezra are going to be dealing with the aftermath of Malachor. Also, something that surprised me and was interesting, next to Ahsoka, one of my favorite characters in Rebels is Sabine. Again, because I find her relatable. She's an artist. I kind of dabble in art. She's really cool. She's a unique character. But Sabine is actually going to be elevated next season. In the first couple seasons, she's been a kind of a secondary character. She's there. She's got this really kind of close relationship to Ezra. She's a great character. But we still don't know a lot about her. So far, the knowledge is limited to that she's a Mando. Her mother was in Death Watch. She's from Vizsla. She's like part of Vizsla. I think it's Clan Run House Vizsla. She attended the Imperial Academy and while she was there, something happened that I'm guessing something happened to her family, and she ran away from the Imperial Academy with her friend Ketsu Ono, who left her for dead. She was a bounty hunter for some time before she was found by Kanan and Hera, who took her in, and they've kind of been raising her. And, but other than that, we really don't know a lot about Sabine. So, actually, the 3rd season, Dave Filoni has said there's going to be a lot more stuff about Sabine. They're going to show Sabine. She's going to grow as a character because they're actually going to elevate her to where she's on the same level as Ezra, which I think is really cool and special, because the fact that this rebellion is a rebellion of people, is a mixed group. You have people like Kanan and Hera and Rex and even Sato, who might remember what life was like before the Empire, maybe even before the Clone Wars. But then you have like Kanan and Sabine, not Kanan, Ezra and Sabine, who for them, they don't really know life any different than under the Empire. Ezra was born on Empire Day, so literally he has spent his entire life living under the Empire, and Sabine, I think, maybe was born like a year or two before the Empire came to power. So for them, they really don't know what life was like pre-Clone Wars, pre-Empire. So for them, this is their reality, and they have seen enough and they know enough to know that this is not what they want. This is not good for the galaxy as a whole. So they want to change things. So they are going to change and try to make things better. So it's interesting because you have the people who remember what life was like, and then you have the young people like Sabine and Ezra and even Leia to an extent, who have heard stories about what life was like before the Empire, but they don't know about it. So really, in my mind, the rebellion was a mixture of the older generation with younger generation, the younger generation going, we want to go back to what the older generation remembers, so we're going to help bring that back. It does kind of go along with the whole thing that for each generation there's a new Star Wars story, so I will think it's very interesting because, as Dave Filoni said, when he was doing Star Wars Rebels, he wanted us to be in this world and see it from Ezra's point of view. Well, now we're going to start, but now from the sound of it, we're going to start seeing it from Sabine's point of view as well. So, much like in Clone Wars, a lot of the Clone Wars series, it was from Ahsoka's point of view, from the point of view of a teenager. So, it is really interesting to see, to hear that, and to know that that Sabine is going to become more of a lead character. So, it's really exciting. But yeah, so that's another show. Like I said, next week at some point, I will do a Season 2 recap. I will probably talk a little more in depth about Twilight of the Apprentice. I don't want to do so now, because as you saw, I almost started crying, and I'm starting to get down thinking about it again. Sorry. But I don't want to do that. So, next week, at some point, I will put up a Season 2 Rebels recap. Also, next week, I am expecting a special package, because for all you Star Wars fans, April 5th is the release date of the Blu-ray DVD copies of Star Wars Episode 7 Force Awakens! Yay! So, that's making me happy. I pre-ordered mine. I went to the Disney store. I tried to do it through Walmart, but apparently Walmart is not doing pre-orders. But I did it through Disney store. And I'm getting the Blu-ray DVD combo pack, which also comes in this really cool BB-8 case. Yay, BB-8! That's the one Star Wars character I can draw. This is basically a circle and then a half circle. So Force Awakens, I'm getting that. It comes in a BB-8 case, and it has 4 lithographs, so I'm really excited about that. So when I get that, I will actually do a video of unboxing it so you guys can see what it looks like. So, and I might do a movie review. I kind of did one when I went to go see it in theaters, but now that it's been out and people kind of know what happens, I think I can get a little more detailed and involved. And yeah, so sometime next week I am getting Force Awakens. I am so excited. Also, Season 2 Rebels recap. After that, I don't know what's going to happen with this vlog. I'm going to try to update as often as I can. now that I'm working, I'll probably be able to go out and do more stuff because I'll have a paycheck. I'll definitely keep doing Star Wars themed vlogs. Anytime big Star Wars news happens, I will definitely be there. I do plan on doing reviews of the new Star Wars shows that are going to be at the studios. Galaxy Far Far Away, the Processional, and the Fireworks Show. Since I can't go to Florida to see them, I just watch videos of them. I follow Mouse Steps Weekly and Theme Park and some other theme park bloggers, and they post them, so I'm able to do it that way. So, won't be firsthand, but it'll be awesome. So, alright, so that is another show. So, like I said, 2 words to describe Star Wars Rebels Fall of the Apprentice is emotionally draining. So, make sure if you go and watch it, you are ready to have your heart just ripped from your chest. And like I said, it changes everything that you thought was going to happen and leaves you with a ton more questions than answers. So like I said, I'm your favorite mission girl and wannabe Jedi Caitlin. May the Force be with you, and Ahsoka lives.